Hey fuckers! So the past few days has been just a unbelievable shit fest. Um, God, dude, it's been horrible. It's like a Taco Bell Chipotle bathroom, man. It's crazy. On Reddit, at least as far as I know, I kind of went on there on Friday, so maybe Friday was a shit fest. Okay, I don't know about the other days, but it seemed like there was a lot of people really pissed off at the upcoming June 27th patch. Does this sound familiar to anybody? We just had this last year, dude. I don't know. I just feel like June patches are getting this curse under the new management. Although I don't think didn't they like overhaul like the fucking people running the sandbox shit last year? I think they did. It was like after the June patch. It was mainly because of the June patch, I think. So you know, honestly, it's really not as bad as last year. I think like last year it was like it's a lot of crap, and this one at least there's a lot of good shit. So of course I'm going to be talking about Untamed first, and then I'll talk about some of the other stuff that I actually give a shit about. You know, note your profession or specialization is most likely not even going to be mentioned in this video because, quite honestly, I really don't give a flying fuck. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Untamed. So, you know, I've made a cajillion videos on the spec. I just made a video a few days ago saying, hey, what the fuck is going on? And looks like we did get a little bit of really cool changes, as well as one major trait rework to Fervent Force, which was pleasantly surprising to see. I really was not expecting them to rework it this hard. Like, it's a completely different trait now. And I'm really hoping that going forward they actually switch up the way the hammer works. We'll talk about that once I get into that section. But basically what they did that really fucking pissed me off is they did some, you know, the trait in Beast Mastery, right? That reduces your shout cooldowns, your command cooldowns. They're the same fucking thing. They're shouts, okay? Or not shouts. Are they shouts? No, it's another kind of skill. I don't fucking know. They're command skills, okay? And you know, you command your pet to do various things, and reduces the cooldown of them, that trait I was talking about. Well, of course, they're doing that thing where they're removing a lot of those traits in the game, or that functionality from the trait, reducing the cooldown, and just making it baseline. So the positive here is that Sikkim, for instance, is going down to 28 seconds, which is fantastic. That is, what, a 7-8 second reduction? I think it was at 35 before. The downside is, though, We Heal as 1 is not getting adjusted at all. So when you took that trait before, We Heal as 1, I think became like a 16-second cooldown. It's a pretty good heal, too. It's like, what, 5 or 6k? Pretty good heal. The problem is this heal is being used, well, ideally, right, in the builds that I do, you know, Ferocious Symbiosis, off cooldown. And the reason why that is because it's really one of the only ways on Ranger to give your pet boons that you have. And this has been a huge fucking issue I've talked about forever, is boon sharing with pets needs to be adjusted. There's got to be some way we could permanently give boons to our pets, because Mechanist can do it with a fucking Signet, okay? Full duration, yet we take a goddamn heal skill to do it, and it's only like, the only boon that actually has a decent duration on it is Might. Everything else is like fucking 2-3 seconds. It's ridiculous. So that's really the only way we can consistently do it. Of course, there's Strength of the Pack, and if you're taking Nature Magic, which of course is a supportive focus straight line, so ideally it's not used for damage, and especially with the disappearance of Alacrity Untamed, that's basically not going to be used at all, I would think, on Untamed anymore. So really, your only options are Strength of the Pack and We Heal as 1, and that's fucking it. And We Heal as 1, there's no way to reduce it, because before I was running that trait all the time, man. I was reducing it so I can get more Might on my pet, and it just feels like shit seeing that happen. It feels fucking terrible. So, yeah, that trait's gonna suck balls too, dude. It's literally, what is it gonna do? It's like, just gives boons, right, whenever you use it, like regen and shit. No one's gonna fucking take that now. What was the other one? The one on the bottom, wasn't that like you give Might to your pet, like with crits, but it's really not a whole lot. It doesn't have very good duration on it, but I don't know, dude. God damn, this shit honestly really annoys me what they did with that. There's not even a way to reduce it now, which really fucking blows. As far as Untamed goes, it got a really, really nice rework. Now, is this a massive overhaul, you know, like a lot of us have wanted to be more of like a pet focused? No, it's not. I will say though, this is going to make it a lot more fun and less button spamming, you know, because before the Fervent Force kind of rotation, which was the most popular, was unfucking believable. It was insane. Like, you have to be an absolute madman at the game to be able to pull that off consistently. Now they're actually reworking a lot of this shit, and they're making it so it's fast-paced, you know, but it's not like just goddamn, you know, like before, like utterly insane. So it's going to be relatively fast-paced, but it's going to be probably on par with like Soul Beast and shit like that, you know. So yeah, let's go and go into it. So rending vines and enveloping haze got their cooldown reduced. Fuck, I just had a massive brain orgasm there, or brain fart. Same thing. You know, rending vines, enveloping haze. Rending vines is the second unleash skill for your pet. The one that's basically completely useless, at least the trait tied to it. And then the third one, enveloping haze, is the big green fart cloud. So bad news for everybody. If you're not running, you know, the shit where you don't see ally visual effects anymore, you're going to be seeing more fart clouds, okay? But do yourself a favor and just adjust whether you're, you know, like if you're in open world content or whatever, just turn that shit off. They have the hide ally effects setting now, so you can turn that off if you really get annoyed by it. I never actually found it to be annoying. Like if you've seen it in my videos, people describe it as this, and I've seen it in people's videos, and it looks completely different to what mine looks like on my screen. And every time I see that, I'm just like, are these guys running their effects or whatever setting is tied to it on low? Because I have everything almost on max, right? And it runs fine and it looks fine. I still don't understand how that works. So this is actually the big one here. This is a very, very, very big fucking change, okay? Unleashed power. So this is the trait that gives you access to a whole bunch of shit, but the one that matters here is your unleashed ambush, okay? So you get that thing every 15 seconds on your hotbar to be able to swap to you being unleashed, you know, from your pet, and you're able to use an unleashed ambush skill depending on your weapon. Now, not only did a lot of these actually get buffed in their damage, but now you're going to be able to use that a lot more, because the cooldown on that unleashed ambush, you know, your ability to use it, the buff that you see, is going down from 15 to 9 seconds. So we're going to be using this shit a hell of a lot more often, and this is why they reduced the cooldowns of the pet skills, so we can line them up more efficiently with how much we're going to be unleashing, you know, swapping back and forth for that ambush buff that we get. So that was a very, very clever idea. So really how it's going to go is you're going to unleash your pet, you're going to use the 3 skills, go back. The next time you unleash, you're going to use the first 2 skills because they're both on the same cooldown. Venomous Outburst is on 10 seconds and Running Vines is on 10 seconds. Then you go back, and then the next time you're going to use all 3. So it really provides that consistency there that we didn't actually have fully before, that I feel like now it's going to be really good. I'm really, really excited about that. And of course there is like a second or 2 gap in there, but I think most people aren't going to nail the rotation on the head that quickly, you know, and practicality to be able to do it that quickly. So yeah, really awesome change there, man. So as I said, they buffed up some of the Unleashed Ambush skills, so we're going to go over that. So the Great Sword, Unleashed Ambush, Savage Slash got buffed from a 2.0 to 2.2 power coefficient. Now as far as I know, isn't that a 20% buff technically? Maybe I'm just being a fucking moron here. I don't really know how the whole coefficient thing works. I mean, I know it's tied to, like, you know, the base skill power with your power and shit. You know, that kind of crap and that weird, you know, math shit. Death Strike is... Oh, my Jesus H. Christ. We have to talk about the sword rework. Death Strike is the sword ambush, and that got massively buffed. 1.5 to 2.2 damage coefficient, which is great. Relentless Whirl, which is the hammer one, got increased slightly from 0.546, what a weird-ass number, to 0.7. So that's a really, really awesome change there. Multi-Shot got a fucking massive buff, 1.2 to 2.0. This is the longbow one. So really, for all power weapons there, some absolutely phenomenal ambush buffs. Now, I basically just use power untamed. I've rarely ever dabbled in Condi untamed, so I guess the Condi ambush skills are all really good. Maybe. I don't fucking know. And as far as all, isn't it literally just the short bow for that? I don't think there is any other, like, Condi. Maybe the axe. I think the axe has it, actually. But anyway... Yeah, really awesome thing there. Restorative Strikes got changed to basically, instead of like the strike damage healing you, you basically convert strike damage to healing when you or your pet unleashed, and you know, you get increased protection for 2 to 3 seconds. Now, they don't say if there's an interval on this, but I guess it's kind of cool. I don't know. I really, ever since they reduced it from 10% to 5, I really have not given a flying fuck about that trait, because the other two are definitely a lot better to go with. And the last one is the Fervent Force rework. It is now called Let Loose. This is a pretty big one because it basically solidifies Ferocious Symbiosis as the DPS trait to use on Untamed, Restorative Strikes to be the the survival one, and Let Loose to be the boon focused one. So no longer is that top column solely like disable based. So this seems to be more reliant around boons, and it makes me wonder, they're really moving away from the whole disable shit. That is mainly tied to the hammer, but to the spec itself, disabling is not going to be nearly as much of like its identity as it was before this patch. Which is fantastic news, because I hated having to constantly disable enemies, like in order to reduce cooldowns and actually take advantage of the strongest parts of the spec. I really didn't enjoy that, so a lot of the times I'd play Ferocious Symbiosis. What I was saying earlier with the hammer is I really hope that they decide to give us some sort of external button so we're able to use our unleashed hammer skills while our pet is unleashed. Because really now, if you're running that DPS build, those disables will only ever really matter if you're in a situation where you need CC, right? You're not going to be using that to reduce your cooldowns and all that shit, It's much more efficient for your damage to be using the unleashed skills than the non-unleashed skills. So I'm really hoping that they kind of change that up, because I don't know. I suppose you actually aren't really going to be keeping your pet unleashed for long, even with these changes. But anyway, what the trait actually does is whenever you use an unleashed ambush skill, you grant boons to nearby allies, and you also will recharge your unleashed ambush skill whenever you swap weapons. So it's still actually going to be relatively fast-paced. Because you recharge your unleashed ambush skill whenever you swap weapons. It's pretty fucking titties. So, isn't swapping weapons on like a 10-second or 5-second cooldown? I actually forget, dude. What the fuck? Okay, yeah, it's 10 seconds, right? So that kind of seems like, what's the same cooldown, right? But the advantage here is that you're going to be able to butt fuck your allies of boons. And how that goes is essentially you use your ambush skill. Like, let's say I'm on hammer, right? I use my ambush skill, and then I could swap to my greatsword and then use the ambush skill again because I just recharged it, right? And so that's actually a really cool thing there that I personally very much enjoy. I think that's a really cool trait. So it still is relatively fast-paced, right? But it's it's fucking titties, okay? And the boons that you're providing is we know that there's quickness, okay? So I'm assuming that you're gonna have to put on some diviner gear in order to provide full quickness. It just makes sense. It's because before on Fervent Force, when Alacrity Untamed was a thing, which by the way it got moved to Druid. It's no longer a nature magic thing. Alacrity, Druid, Quickness Untamed. Those are your support your boon support specs. I don't think Soul Base is really gonna be able to do dick. Yeah, so pretty fucking awesome change there, man. I really like that trait. And it feels really good moving away from this disabled focused playstyle that was kind of the highlight of Untamed, right? Like what the identity of it was. I'm really excited to move away from that, and I'm also very interested to see how all of this is going to turn out. I'm really interested, man. Because I'm wondering if this is enough for people. It certainly isn't for me, because I want to see better shit with the pets, more interaction with pets, synergy with pets. That's what I want to see. I want to see pet-focused playstyles on Ranger. But for the people who don't care about that as much, is this going to be enough? Is this going to is there going to be a meta with this just because of the sheer amount of ambushes you're going to be butt fucking? I really don't know, man. I'm really interested to see how all this shit's going to go. Really cool changes. And the sword rework I was talking about, they essentially took away the 2 skill, right? So Monarch's Leap gets replaced by Pounce, so you basically leap and you strike an enemy, hits pretty hard as far as I know, and it also deals increased damage to targets that are movement impaired or disabled. So this of course still combines well with the cripple you get from your auto attack, which is also pretty fucking titties. So pretty cool thing there. I like that. It also gives you vigor too, which is cool for mobility's sake. I really enjoy that. Serpent Strike is actually the 3rd slot skill now. So you leap to your target while evading, applying poison and cripple on hit. Why you still apply poison? I mean, it's obviously going for a power-focused kind of thing here, right? That's what the sword is going for. They're moving it more towards that, from like that hybrid shit they had before. Why are we still doing poison, bro? I don't get it. But anyway, poison and cripple on hit. And the skill will immobilize instead of cripple if the target is movement impaired or disabled. So, you know, being able to use your auto attack, cripple, and then also then fucking immobilize his ass is pretty fucking cool, man. I'm really interested to see how this is going to do on Untamed. I've wanted sword to be a fun, relevant weapon for so long now, but I've always fucking hated sword. And the reason why that is because of the just the skills, man. They felt shitty. I hated the 3. The 3 was my least favorite because you would leap back, and it's like, well, oh boy, you just went out of boon range. Yeah, say goodbye to getting boons from your allies for a fucking second. You know, it's also just kind of really annoying to play with. I really didn't like it. You know, the 2 falling up to another skill was really annoying. Didn't enjoy it at all. So Serpent Strike is, like I said, going to be the 3rd skill, and then Pounce is going to be the 2nd skill. It looks like there's not going to be a follow-up skill on the 2 anymore, which is nice. I like that. The follow-up skill idea, I was not a fan of at all. Also, they're increasing Farsighted. So Farsighted, I think, is the trait on Marksmanship, where it just straight up increases your damage, right? Farsighted, Guild Wars. I'm pretty sure it's on Marksmanship. Yeah, okay, it's that shit. So basically what it does is it increases your strike damage, and it also does it even more when you're above the range threshold, right? So when you're above 800, or I'm sorry, 600 range. So basically what they're doing with that is they're increasing the minimum damage bonus from 5 to 10%. So what makes me kind of, in PvE by the way, so it's kind of like, what? I don't get it, because it says right now damage increase 5%, right? But if you're above 600 range, like farther away than that, you get a 10% increase. So now it's just 10% across the board, I guess? I guess? Alright, cool. I don't know. Now, will this make it a you know, competitive option with, you know, let's say if I wanted to go Beast Mastery, right? Because I really enjoyed that. So would I run Marksmanship now instead of Skirmishing? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I would. I'll have to do some DPS testing when all this shit comes out. Really interested to see how that turns out. But yeah, I'm just really excited about this, man. Really excited to see these Untamed changes. Really good shit going on here, alright? So a lot of people were really pissed off about Scourge. I really don't know how the fuck that's going to work for people. I don't know what people are pissed off about with that. They're pissed off with Mirage. Apparently Mirage got fucked in PvP, right? So before they made it so it was like a 1 dodge thing. But apparently the dodge was like really fucking OP and really, really good for people, from what I've seen. But now they're basically nerfing the shit out of the dodge and reverting it back to 2, right? Two dodges in PvP and World vs. World. I don't know. I guess that's a horrible thing. Wasn't people like happier on Chrono? Firebrand, didn't that get buffed? I don't really remember, dude. But anyway, the one that I gave a shit about was Mechanist. Okay, so they're changing the Mechanical Genius trait. So instead of having a stat penalty, your command skills are going to take longer to recharge. So it's not going to be nearly as punishing now if your mech is out of range, which is really fucking cool, man. I really love that. It's just amazing. Great change there. And yeah, that's my thoughts on everything, man. I'm really excited for all this. As I've said a cajillion times in this video, I'm just really content right now with this game. I think these are some great changes. It felt really nice seeing Ranger have a long list of changes again. Because it really feels like they haven't actually paid attention to Untamed for a while. And to be honest with you, man, these aren't like any huge things, right? I think the only thing that really got a lot of attention put into it was Let Loose, right, the new trait, and then Restorative Strikes being changed a little bit there as well. I still, you know, want to see a pet-focused thing happen at some point, whether it be Untamed or some sort of new thing they're gonna do. I don't fucking know what they're gonna do, man. They still haven't talked about that, and they said it's coming this summer, right? Which I think is ends in like September, so we're months away, bro. We're months away from the next expansion, so it feels weird to say. And by the way, the guy who said that it's not going to come out this year and it's going to come out next year, suck my cock and balls, okay? Because I told you it's going to come out this year because it's a shorter cycle, okay? So get down on your knees and suck daddy's dick. So, all right, that's going to cover it. All right, that's the video. I really appreciate all the support. You know, I haven't talked about, have I talked about 800 subscribers? I don't fucking know. Just thanks for everything. I haven't been uploading too much recently because, to be honest with you, man, my mental health has been down the shitter. I haven't been doing too well recently, but, you know, things are getting a little better. So, yeah. Peace.